distinguished guests, members of our institute who have joined us from India and around the world, members of the ICSI Dubai chapter, my professional colleagues present here from the other institutes, and to my professional friends attending the conference virtually from India and around the globe in large numbers. A very good morning to all of you. We indeed are grateful for your presence today. I am CS Ronak Bhutra, member of the ICSI and also a founding member of the ICSI Middle East NPIO Dubai chapter. And it's my absolute privilege to welcome you all to this very important UAE Corporate Tax Conference 2023 on the theme, A New Paradigm Towards Transparency and Good Governance. This also happens to be the second conference in Dubai in as many years. I also take this opportunity to thank our esteemed institute, our president, CS Manish Gupta, our vice president, CS B. Narsimhan, who could not make it to the conference but has always been a pillar for us, and our council members to have shown utmost faith in our commitment to host this host this conference in Dubai. After a successful first international conference, which coincided with the biggest global event, Expo 2020 last year, this event would not have been possible without the unwavering support from our team here in ICSI Dubai chapter and the ICSI team in India. With a lot of pride, we believe to take this event a notch higher. Moving forward, special recognition is now due for our chief guest and our guest of honors for today. Without further ado, first and foremost, it's my honor to welcome Mr. K. Kalimuthu, Consul, Economic Trade and Commerce, Consulate General of India, Dubai, as our chief guest. Our guest of honor, Mr. Ram Buksani, Chairman, ITL Cosmos Group, Dubai, and Mr. Suresh Kumar, Chairman, IBPC. I request CS Manish Gupta, President ICSI, CS Pawan Chandak, Central Council Member and the Program Director, ICSI CS R. Lakshmanan, Chairman ICSI Middle East NPIO, and CS Ashish Mohan, Secretary ICSI, to kindly escort our guest onto the dais. A huge round of applause for our chief guest and the guest of honors. Thank you. Before we start the proceedings, we will have the national anthems of both UAE and India. First UAE, followed by India.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे.
Thank you, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, as an institution established to regulate and develop the company secretary profession, The ICSI has always instilled in its esteemed members the sense of believing and living the quote, Satyam Vada Dharmam Chara, which means speak the truth and abide by the law. The ICSI motto inspires us to uphold the torch of corporate governance in true letter and spirit. On this note, may I now request you all to rise for our ICSI motto song.
उम्मीद के अंबर में हम बन के खिले जो रोशनी, कह देंगे हम संसार को कोई लक्ष्य नामुमकिन नहीं। ज्ञान के और न्याय के हर राह को थामे हुए चल पड़े हैं झूम कर बस गीत ये गाते हुए।
सत्यं वद धर्मं चर, सत्यं वद धर्मं चर,
सत्यम वद
धर्मं चर। कंपनी सचिव
कदमों की हर एक गूंज में बस जीत का एहसास हो, राष्ट्र प्रगति पथ पे हो और आत्मबल की आस हो। जब भी चले इस भाव से खुलते गए हैं रास्ते, आवाज हमने दिल से दी है गीत ये गाते हुए।
सत्यं वद धर्मं चर, सत्यं वद धर्मं चर,
सत्यम वद
धर्मं चर।
हर उन्नति के रंग में हर भारतीय हाथ हो, उद्यम हो या उद्योग हो, हर ओर अपना साथ हो। जाना शिखर तक है हमें सच की कलाई थाम कर, हम जीत के सुर छेड़ेंगे गीत ये गाते हुए।
सत्यं वद धर्मं चर, सत्यं वद धर्मं चर,
सत्यम वद
धर्मं चर।
Wow, it is indeed enthralling to see the unity which we stand together in our honor of our motto song. Now we'll have the felicitation of our guest. May I now request CS Manish Gupta, President ICSI, to kindly felicitate our chief guest, Mr. K. Kalimuthu, with the Angavastram and the ICSI planter. Thank you. Next on, felicitation of our guest of honors. May I now request CS Pawan Chandak, Central Council Member and Program Director, ICSI, to kindly felicitate our guest of honor, Mr. Ram Buksani, with the Angavastram and the ICSI planter. May I now request CS R. Lakshmanan, President ICSI Dubai Middle East NPIO, to please felicitate our guest of honor, Mr. Suresh Kumar, with the Angavastram and the ICSI planter. Thank you. I would now welcome Mr. R. Lakshmanan, President of ICSI Dubai Chapter, who has been a towering figure for ICSI Dubai Chapter for all his contributions to take our chapter here in Dubai to the next level. May we continue to achieve plenty more under your leadership, sir. Request him to kindly address the gathering here. Thank you.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning, distinguished guests. Our chief guest of the day, His Excellency K. Kalimuthu Ji, Consul Economic Trade and Commerce, Consulate General of India. Our distinguished guests of honor, businessmen for the last 50 years or so, Mr. Dr. Ram Buksani Ji, Chairman of ITL Cosmos Group, and Mr. Suresh Kumar Ji, Chairman of Indian Business and Professional Council, Dubai, distinguished speakers, ICSI members, delegates, my dear friends, and members of other professional bodies who have assembled here today. This is a landmark moment for the ICSI, DIFC and PIO for two reasons. One, we have kept our commitment of doing an international conference, which we said last year we will do again. So last year was the first year of conference, and this one is the second year of our conference. The second landmark moment is an international conference on corporate tax, which UAE has unveiled on the 1st of June 2023. We are virtually on the third day of June. We are hosting a conference with, along with many professionals here and people from various businesses. The chapter is still small in size, but growing very fast. Thanks to the support of the ICSI India, the President of the Institute, Manish Gupta Ji, Central Council Member, Pawan Chandok Ji, Secretary, Ashish Mohan Ji, and Preeti and rest of the team from India, who have been of great support to us always whenever we wanted something. And I'm proud to say that ICSI Middle East, with the headquarters in Dubai, in DIFC, was the first overseas chapter of the ICSI. After many tireless years, the efforts put by our past members of the ICSI who have been here and probably who are still continuing to be here, it has taken long, probably decades, to be here. And I think we now have a firm footing in the UAE, and we continue to grow in size. And when this conference was decided, we looked at ICSI also playing a role in the corporate tax arena, apart from other professionals like chartered accountants and tax agents and other professional lawyers and etc. I take this opportunity not only to welcome you, but most importantly, the birth of ICSI, Middle East, DIFC, NPO wouldn't have been possible without one firm which has supported us, and Saad Meniar, thank you very much, Askaro, giving us the place where we are housed under your office, and we continue to grow from there. Thank you, we are indebted to you for that. We have a distinguished panel of speakers to unravel the mystery of corporate tax. As you know, the regulations have been introduced every day, every hour, and I'm still trying to find, and I presume my colleagues as well, trying to struggle with the number of changes which is being announced. But most importantly, you need to understand that the journey of corporate tax has begun even much earlier. I think the UAE has committed as 136 countries as part of the OECD framework for the global minimum tax of 15%, and also the diversification of oil revenues. Despite having a stellar growth in the GDP at 7.6% last year, UAE, India and UAE together are the 7% club today. UAE has been signing a number of comprehensive economic partnership agreement to start with India and then move on with other countries. So all those partnership agreements will going to further facilitate trade and services flow into UAE. UAE has clearly said that they want to be the #1 leading destination for FDI investments into UAE. All of this together, if you look at the diversification from oil revenue has been happening, and based on the Institute of International Finance study, if the oil price even were to go down to $80 next year, this year, 2023, this revenues from corporate tax would, help to achieve that, the break-even, above the break-even price. Thankfully, we've been running a surplus budget in UAE from the fiscal side. Last year it was about 10.7% or so, and this year it's expected to a bit reduce, but nevertheless, with this corporate tax coming in, it will give additional revenues to the government. Many of you would have witnessed from 2018, when the introduction of VAT happened, it was a big change in UAE. And since then, economic substance reporting, UVU, ESR, and all of that have been done. So a lot of compliance requirements have come in. This is an opportunity for the professionals cutting across, whether it is chartered accountants, company secretaries, cost accountants, management accountants, all of them. And I think particularly I would urge upon our fellow company secretary professionals to look at compliance as a big area where there's going to be more focus in the coming years. And we had some very good discussions yesterday with Abu Dhabi Global Market, which at some point in time I think the president would touch upon. A lot of opportunities, expansion happening, compliance is growing. So I'm sure, we will all have some interesting work going ahead. I remember, 27 years ago when I left India, the number of tax regulations in India, how it was. And now having come, I think, full circle for me in life, coming into the Gulf and being here, now the taxation is across everywhere. I think you will hear from Dr. Ram Buksani ji about how the taxation came in, perhaps in the early 60s or so, if I'm not mistaken. I think he will share that bit of experience, what he had, and I'm sure Suresh Kumar ji also has been part of several committees. He will share in his brief talk about how this whole thing evolved. It's not something which has come just now, but I think it is going to be there forever. And I think all professionals should seize this opportunity and take this. I take this opportunity to welcome all of you and also thank the sponsors, M&M Marketing, Emirates NBD team, Dili Trust, and of course my organization MCA for being this. And thank you the events management team for helping us putting this through. And I once again welcome you all, and I hope we have an enjoyable conference. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for setting the tone of the conference. As you are aware, this one-day conference is set on the theme UAE Corporate Tax, a new paradigm towards transparency and good governance. And our distinguished speakers shall captivate us with their insights on the transformative approach in this part of the region and how the compliance and the board shall play their part in aligning the corporate culture with the new tax laws. On this note, may I now invite CS Pawan Chandakji, Council Member ICSI and the Program Director, to please introduce the theme of the conference for us and introduce our guest. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning. First of all, I wish to request all of you to clap for yourself for this second international conference at Dubai. So good morning, friends. UAE is going through a change, I would say. And we at ICSI, under the able leadership of our magical leader, CS Manishji Gupta, President ICSI, our council has decided to create an opportunity. We know that nowadays opportunities are not knocking, knock, 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 but we need to create the opportunities. And 1st June, we came to know that the corporate tax is going to be introduced at UAE, and our magical president decided to have the Dubai conference on the same theme, basically, the UAE corporate tax, and that which is a new paradigm towards the transparency and good governance. We being company secretaries, the good corporate governance professionals, I would say, it is an apt opportunity for all of you who are at Dubai and UAE, and also all the professionals, governance professional back home in India, to spread their wings, come to Dubai, come to UAE, and encash this opportunity which is thrown at our professional arenas. So friends, on this note, I welcome all of you, and good morning. All the guests dignitaries on the dais, and esteemed members watching us live also. So, very good morning to all of you. Friends, it is a pleasure for me to present the theme. The moment we say the theme, it cannot be only one theme. Corporate tax, it is the introduction first, then how to understand, how to implement, what would be the challenges. So, there are certain sub-themes also which would be covering during this one-day conference of the corporate tax definitely. We know UAE is one of the fastest growing business and continent for investment and business hubs across the world. And even since economy opened up and started allowing the Emiratis, I would say, non-Emiratis to set up the independent businesses here, the role of company secretaries became more profound, and I can see with the physical presence today, we have many company secretaries who are settled at Dubai. With the introduction of corporate tax in UAE, another set of opportunities for our company secretaries are opening up, and it was pertinent for the ICSI to arrange for a platform for its stakeholders to discuss and comprehend the opportunities brought in by the new tax regime, which is a corporate tax. Accordingly, this UAE corporate tax, a new paradigm towards the transparency and sustainability to bring to the fore the governance perspective of the corporate tax and highlighting the role of governance professionals in implementing it, it was a need of hour. We would be, as discussed, having sub-themes which are kick-starting a transformative approach, because it would not be a easy thing to adapt to the corporate tax, because right now there is no tax. So, from 1st of June, the corporates would be coming under the tax. So, kick-starting a transformative approach, here we would discuss upon how to prepare ourselves, how to kick-start the thought process and the regulations and the mindset to this approach, because it would require the transformation of our minds and also the governance practices. Then aligning the corporate culture with the new tax laws, because everything is new over here. And at the last, we would see what the role governance professionals, company secretaries have to play, or the opportunities for us in UAE for considering the new tax regime. So, each one is woven into a insightful panel discussions instead of various sessions. We have designed this conference as by the form of panel discussion, so that all the inputs can be taken from all the experts, and you can also ask any questions which you have during the panel discussions. So, we are absolutely delighted here and honored to have very seasoned professionals from both India and UAE as our eminent speakers at the conference, who will steer discussions about transparency and business discipline brought in by the corporate tax, the impact it will have on the businesses, not only in UAE but across all borders, definitely. The processes required to manage compliances, the challenges that potential investors will have to face, and many other facets to this new tax regime. And I am sure that this comprehensive day-long discussions, the panelists would definitely give us opportunity to network with the industry leaders and explore the new areas for work, the professional work as a company secretary. And in this backdrop, the I would say the competitive corporate tax regime would also adhere to the international tax standards, and accordingly we as a governance professionals, company secretaries as the governance professionals, have long way to go to prove our mettle in this area. I wish you all enriching, pleasant learning experience here, and I welcome you again for this conference. Another role which I have to follow here is we have distinguished guests for the inaugural session. We have Sri K. Kalimuthuji, guest of, he is a chief guest, and it is my proud privilege that I am introducing all the three guests of inaugural today. Sri Kalimuthuji joined the Indian government services in 2006. He joined the Consulate General of India, Dubai in March 2021 as Consul, Economic Trade and Commerce. As a part of his portfolio, his assignments are to promote and facilitate the trade and commerce between India and UAE, coordinate with the local authorities for amicable solutions of the trade disputes arising during the trade between India and UAE. His chosen area are international trade facilitation and related taxation issues, protection of intellectual property rights and traders' right. He has held key portfolios in these areas in India as well as abroad. We welcome you, sir, for this conference. Then we have another distinguished personality who is a guest of honor, Dr. Ram Buksani. Dr. Ram Buksani has been the resident of Dubai for nearly 6 decades with rags to riches tale that can make a great Hollywood script. He has played a key role in the growth of ITL Cosmos Group, rising from being an office assistant in 1959 to be the chairman in 2014. What a great journey. Dr. Buksani's name is synonymous with the grit and determination, a quality required to succeed in the competitive city of Dubai. His achievements read like a credit sequence at the end of the movie, with him having a hand in literally every aspect of the Indian community's growth in UAE. He is the founder chairman of the Overseas Indian Economics Forum, a prime NRI organization which subsequently merged with an Indian business and professional council in 2003. In 1983, he also received a shield from the President of India for his contributions to the NRI community. His involvement extends to institutions like India Club Dubai, of which he served as chairman from 2012 to 2015. He earlier chaired the club from 1990 to 1994. He was also chairman of Indian High School, Dubai from 2000 to 2004. He is on the board of trustees of both the organizations now. We welcome you, sir. Another distinguished faculty for inaugural session of this corporate tax conclave is Mr. Suresh Kumar. Mr. Suresh Kumar is the chairman IBPC Dubai. Over 45 years of his experience in globally active banking and financial institutions, which comprises CEO and ex-CEO, member in the Emirates Bank, Emirates NBD Group, from 1985 till 2012. Then SBI manager overseas branch in Mumbai from 1972 to 1979. He has held various governance positions like members and later chairman of the boards of directors of Federal Bank, IDBI Federal Insurance Company, Fed Bank Financial Services Limited. Independent, he is independent currently on the boards of ICICI Lombard General Insurance Company Limited, then ICICI Prudential AMC Limited, Aster DM Healthcare UAE and India, and Emirates REIT and at DIFC. So he is independent director on all these boards. He is a board member on advisory board, Evolence Capital, funds of fund basically, a leading UAE business group TKG, founder and first elected president of India Business and Professional Council, IBPC Dubai, founder Dubai Community Theatre and Arts Center 2004 to 2012, educational institutions like Tips Tech India, SP Jain, Build D Dubai, and various others. He is a economic graduate from Sydenham College, Mumbai, Rotary International Scholarship, and various other educational and scholars degrees. Few accomplishment and accolades to his credits are: he is honored with the father of mutual funds and capital markets in GCC for pioneering innovation and institutions building empowers, following successful launch of first ever domestic mutual fund and capital market insurance bonds and equity IPOs, predating DFM and ADSM in the UAE. So he is also awarded as the Hind Ratna Award in 2012, annual award from Indian Economic Society in 2014. He is also associated with various institutions and founder promoter of various overseas companies. So we welcome you, sir, for this Dubai conference. Over to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pawanji, for introducing our distinguished guest and giving us an overview of how this conference will unfold. I may now request CS Manish Gupta ji, President the ICSI, to kindly give his presidential address. Thank you.
Thank you, Ronak. Shri K. Kalimuthu ji, Consulate General of India, Dubai. Our guest of honor, Dr. Ram Buksani, Chairman ITL Cosmos, and Shri Suresh Kumar ji, Chairman IBPC. My consul colleague on the dais, Pawan Chandak, Ashish Mohan, Lakshmanan sir, Chairman ICSI Middle East, the entire team of ICSI Middle East, participants who are present physically here in this hall, and all the participants from all across the world who have joined us through the virtual mode. Team ICSI, ladies and gentlemen, very good morning to all of you. Good morning, friends. At the outset, I welcome you all to the Corporate Conference 2023, which is organized by ICSI at Dubai. Friends, let me share with you the thought process and the journey of organizing this conference. It was all started in the month of March when we were discussing about having those international conferences for this year. Last year, you are very well aware that we had our first international conference at Dubai only. This year, we thought to have it at London, and we had concluded it on 11th and 12th of May this year only. And since March, we were discussing about having something at Dubai. We were in touch with Lakshman Kumaran sir and Lakshman Kumaran sir, and he was like, to have this particular conference on corporate governance and sustainability. And we were like a little bit apprehensive of having those conferences again on sustainability, because this is the new regime. This is the new tax regime which is introduced by the UAE government. And we really wanted to showcase that our company secretaries are also there in the frame, Dubai frame, and they can also be taught, they can also work, and they can also assist all the stakeholders in terms of their compliances with respect to the corporate taxations. That was the idea of organizing the corporate tax conference at Dubai. And we started with the discussion. Yes, there was a few hiccups at the initial level, when to organize, where to organize, and must thank the entire team at UAE, Dubai, for their tireless efforts and supporting this event. A big round of applause for the entire team. Lakshman Kumaran sir has played a very pivotal role in organizing this conference. On behalf of ICSI, Middle East, DIFC, NPIO, I welcome you all to this conference. I am thankful to our dignitaries who are present on the dais. Thank you very much for sparing your valuable time and gracing this occasion. Your words of wisdom would surely motivate all our members to work in the field of the corporate tax And I am assuring you that our members are the best professionals in the entire world, because the vision of ICSI is to be a global leader in promoting the good governance practices. So I can assure you that our professional would be there in UAE to help all the stakeholders going forward, whether it be for the corporate taxes or for any of the compliance, governance and the sustainability. You can rely on the capabilities of our company secretaries going forward. Friends, Dubai is always close to our heart, isn't it? Let me share that Dubai is always first in few things. The very first, Lakshmanan sir has just said two things about the first initiatives at Dubai. One was the overseas center, another was the international conference. Let me share few more. The very first examination center of ICSI, which was established overseas in the year 2012, was at Dubai. The very first overseas chapter or the center, which was constituted, created, formulated by ICSI, was at Dubai. The very first overseas conference, which was conceptualized by the ICSI last year, was at Dubai. The very first, the course, specialized course, which we had designed and offered to all our members, stakeholders, and students, based on any particular law of the other country, is on the corporate taxation, again for Dubai. Very first conference, which is basically targeting and showcasing the strength of the members, is again at Dubai. So there are many more to come for the members and stakeholders at Dubai. I am very much sure, under the able leadership of the entire team and Lakshmanan sir, we are way ahead and we have to go a miles. Friends, corporate taxation, lot many things have already been shared, and lot many things and discussion would be there throughout the day. Few things let me share. We have introduced the specialized course few months back. In the month of April and May, we had run a specialized course for the corporate taxation. And I am happy to share more than 300 people who have joined that online course of ICSI. The recordings are also available on the Knowledge on Demand series. If any one of you is looking for those hand-holding and strengthening, you can always go and join that Knowledge on Demand. All those recorded sessions are available there. We all are basically from India, and we all know about the taxation and the regime of taxation in India. How complex those structures, indirect, direct, GST, VAT, structures in India, right? So people are like have already there. All those things are already there in our curriculum. We have already gone through with all those structures. Now, the corporate taxation in Dubai, right, which is a very new thing. I'm very much sure it is not going to be that complex as of India, right? So, when we can guide, when we can practice, when we can give consultancy to our stakeholders and the clients in India with respect to those complicated structures, this is going to be a very easy, and I would say the cakewalk, particularly for the Indians to enter into this particular field. And the big responsibility at the same time, I would say, on the shoulders of our company secretaries, because your knowledge, your competency, and your abilities to guide the stakeholders who are looking at you would totally decide the fate and the future of this profession at UAE. So my humble request to each one of you, please expand your wings, start venturing into the areas which are less traveled, which are unexplored, possibilities can be explored by all the professionals. I'm happy to share more than 500 participants have joined from all across the world in this conference through virtual mode. And I am sure those who have joined this conference are also looking for the opportunities, also looking for the possibilities to be explored in the days to come, to enter into the UAE, to migrate, to have those opportunities in UAE. Let me assure you from ICSI that we have taken few initial steps which I have already shared. I can assure you that we will always be there with all the stakeholders, all the members and students of ICSI, wherever the capacity building is required to be done, wherever the handholding is required to be done, we'll be there standing with you all. As Lakshmanan sir has told that there would be many other things which would be there for the members of ICSI. Just yesterday we had a meeting at Abu Dhabi Global Market. Then we met His Excellency Ambassador to Dubai from India. We had a discussion about the role to be played by the company secretaries. We requested them that our company secretaries should be given a recognition while it comes to governance, while it comes to strengthening the reporting system, while it comes to the sustainability. Our company secretary should be given a priority and the recognition. They were very happy with the idea. Abu Dhabi Global Market as well as the ambassador, they were very happy with the idea which we shared. They requested us to give the formal representation in this regard, which will be sending it from India, and would request the team at UAE to kindly take it forward. They have also just suggested to have another chapter to be created in the days to come at Abu Dhabi, because Abu Dhabi is the commercial hub and there are many opportunities bigger than Dubai in Abu Dhabi. So we are open with the idea, and I'm not very sure by when we would be opening another branch at Abu Dhabi, but yes, we have parked that particular idea and we'll start working on it. Those representation would be submitted within no time. Maybe by Monday we'll be submitting those representation, wherein something can be created, some recognitions can be given to the corporate professionals, to the governance professional, to the company secretaries who are coming all the way from India. Friends, whenever you think that any new opportunity is there for the company secretaries, my humble request to you, please do let us know. We'll start with the hand-holding and the capacity building programs, and we'll always be there standing with you. With all these words, I once again welcome you all to the Corporate Tax Conference organized by ICSI at Dubai, and I'm sure the discussion which are going to happen, which are going to be deliberated, the thought process, opportunities, challenges in this new regime would surely benefit each and every participant of this conference. Thank you very much, and I am also welcome all the delegates who are physically present from India, other different parts of India. I'm sure you are having a comfortable stay at Dubai. Thank you very much for your presence and participating in this conference. Thank you.
Thank you so much, President, for not just your words, but also for bringing this insightful conference to this ever-happening city of Dubai. Thank you. Next, we'll have a felicitation of the faculty of the recently conducted UAE Corporate Tax Crash Course. As our President said, that we had an overwhelming response of more than 300 participants who attended this UAE Corporate Tax Crash Course. The Institute would want to take this opportunity to thank the faculty from UAE by giving mementos and Angavastram as a small token of our appreciation. And for the same, may I now request our President and all the distinguished guests to kindly felicitate the faculty. I would like to call CA Neerav Shah, if he's present here. Thank you so much. We have another Neerav Shah, CA Neerav Shah. CA Manu Palrechi, if he's here. Okay. CA Girish Chand. CA Vibha Modi. CA Bibu Samanta. And lastly, CA Rajiv Hira. Thank you. I would now request our guest of honor, Dr. Ram Buksani ji, Chairman ITL Cosmos Group, to kindly come and address the gathering.
It appeared that this company secretary job has been restricted to men only. And we did not see even a single lady coming on the dais to receive the award. Huh? Oh, I see. I was thinking about it, that a businessman addressing professionals like company secretary, what we have to speak, what we have to guide. I mean, but Lakshmanan made my job easy, that instead of a speaker, I will be a storyteller. And we are going to do that. Firstly, let me thank Lakshmanan for inviting me. Honorable Kalimothoji, Mr. Suresh Kumar, and all the members on the dais. The chairman, Manish Gupta, mentioned about many firsts which have been introduced in Dubai by the institution. But let me also just add to your knowledge that Dubai means ending with EST, E-S-T, tallest building which comes to Dubai. And of course, many things have slowed down, but Dubai was the first place to have longest cake. And that cake was displayed on the creek of Dubai, and it ran into more than a kilometer. And not satisfied with that, the goldsmiths, jewelry people were asked to create the longest gold chain in the world. And so we mean everything in Dubai ending with est, best, tallest, longest, and all this. At least I can see that this professionalism and corporate tax, that has brought India more nearer to Dubai. Because otherwise, when we talk about tax, India and Dubai were part away. I mean, when we talk about tax, no, you can't talk in Dubai when we are totally tax-free here. Now we are getting closer to that. Going back to the storytelling, what Mr. Lakshmanan mentioned, I came here in the year 1959 when it was not UAE, and it was part of the Trussell Estates. There was no airport. There was no electricity. We used to have a kerosene lantern. And later on, and Dubai had no oil. When Dubai found oil, it was offshore. And obviously, I mean, some proper oil company had to be invited to explore further. So the condition which was put by that oil company, that we will come on the condition, on two conditions, that you will have American bank. At that time, there was only one bank in Dubai, that was British Bank of the Middle East, which is no more. I mean, that is now HSBC. And it had a monopoly to operate from the ruler of Dubai. So no other bank would come here. But because of this, this oil company insisted that there should be American bank. And tax should be introduced in Dubai. Because the idea is that by the double tax treaty, they could save tax in America. So they said we will come to Dubai on two conditions. You should have American bank and tax. It was very easy, and the ruler of Dubai agreed. Citibank was brought here at that time, and income tax was introduced. So that tax is in existence since then, and it was 20% on the income above 1 million rupees. It was a dream to make 1 million rupees at that time was a dream, unachievable dream. But since basically aim was this oil company and the bank, they could make it easy. And we were, as business people, when we heard this, we were quite worried that now tax has come. We approached the ruler and he assured that this is not for you. But we said, law is law. I mean, how can be this? He said, I assure you that this is not for you. This is only because discriminatory law cannot be passed. Tax will apply to everybody. So this is only for the bank and oil company. But then we requested the ruler that can you give us some satisfaction and cushion? He said, no problem. Yes. So he gave a letter signed by himself that, those who approached the ruler at that time, I'm sure they got all, but we got the letter that I certify that International Traders Limited will never be taxed in Dubai. And so, we cannot implement that, but letter is with us. But it's a satisfaction that, for the museum, for the, this letter is there. So this is the beginning of a tax, and now we are facing the factual situation, and you are part of it. Thank you very much. I hope I finished my thing. Okay.
Thank you so much, sir, for enlightening the participants with your insightful thoughts and your experience. I would now request our guest of honor, Mr. Suresh Kumarji, Chairman IBPC, to kindly come and address the gathering.
Ram is a good storyteller. If you want more stories, please read his book, Taking the High Road. In fact, this book was kept along with road safety. So I told Ram, please move it to the story section. He came by way of a boat, INS Dara, right? And the story starts there, and it's obviously seen Dubai and Sharjah when there were no proper roads in the country. So the UAE has come a long way. But first, let me compliment ICSI Middle East chapter for setting the theme, a new paradigm towards transparency and good governance. I think very important theme, and I will also later on specify why I think it's becoming increasingly important. But picking up from Ram's story, but maybe a little bit of history, one of the questions that I have often been asked is, why is the UAE introducing a tax? Why should an oil economy, why should a country which has got sovereign wealth funds with, between Abu Dhabi Investment Authority, between Mubadala and ADQ, they manage over $1 trillion of assets under management, investment assets. So why should the country need taxation? And I think the answer to that is UAE is really a federation. Similar to India. So it's a federal structure similar to India, but a little dissimilar in terms of each of the 7 emirates has fair amount of autonomy, has a significant amount of autonomy and authority over what happens within that emirate. Gradually, since 1971, when the federation was formed, since then, the federal structure has got strengthened. Earlier, right where we are sitting, i.e. Dusit, Dubai, close to it, the first interchange used to be called Defense Roundabout because Dubai had its own army at that time. Where Burj Khalifa is, the tallest building, as Ram said, used to be the defense headquarters. Dubai had its own territorial army. So the federation has come a long way, and the federal budget at that time was contributed between Abu Dhabi and Dubai, 50% each in those days. Right from the 70s up to late 90s, the federal budget was contributed by just these two emirates because the other resources were not quite there in the other emirates. In the other 5 emirates, they didn't have it to the same level of wealth and resources, oil and petroleum income. Dubai's petroleum reserves ran out, and strategically it started to diversify itself into tourism, real estate, transportation, infrastructure, airline, and the like. So Dubai focused on, since the late 80s, focused on diversifying its income. And so the point that Dr. Ram Bakshani made, namely the tax on the banks, was one other source of income apart from customs duty and apart from monetizing real estate, monetizing silicon and sand into the kind of economy that Dubai is. But at the federal level, Dubai stopped contributing. Towards the end of last decade, it was very much Abu Dhabi that was funding it. And the budget has now grown, federal budget, to almost 63 billion, which is the current size of the budget, 63 billion dirhams. And then they have a 3-year rolling budget, which is almost 212 billion dirhams. So the federal services, federal activities, especially spending on infrastructure, especially spending on the Northern Emirates and Abu Dhabi, and Dubai was pretty much self-sufficient in terms of infrastructure, in terms of roads, electricity. Dubai had its own electricity company. It used to be called Dubai Electricity Company. It became Dubai Electricity and Water Authority, which produces significant amount of revenue. So a lot of the federal activities started to increase, and the budget was contributed entirely or underwritten by Abu Dhabi. And that's when the likes of IMF came and said that you need to diversify your budgetary resources. And this was way back, 8 years back. I remember the then finance minister, the late His Highness Sheikh Hamdan bin Rashid, and the Minister of State for Finance, His Excellency Ubaid al-Tahir, both of them had extensive discussions with the IMF, and then IMF's point was that Dubai or the UAE should not be just a tax haven. It should be a larger economy on its own steam. It doesn't want to be bracketed with Bahamas, Cayman Island, or British Virgin Island and the like. So although it was a tax haven in terms of personal taxation, the recommendations from the IMF were, please diversify your source of income. The oil will run out at some point in time, if not now, in 100 years from now, and 50 years from now. In any case, there is a greater push in the last 10 years towards green energy, etc. Abu Dhabi set up Masdar city as a green city, as a city focused on alternate energy, even though as a fossil fuel economy, Dubai has been very significant. The UAE has been a very significant contributor. So that is the context in which the question was answered as to why should the UAE need any taxation at all. So initially VAT was introduced, VAT, and then value-added tax, and then now the corporate tax. Question would be, why should the corporate tax be set at 9%? And a lot of discussions took place, lots of committees were set up, and they brought in some of the best talent globally and overseas.
and domestically, including the likes of KPMG, were involved in preparing the framework, in preparing the structure. The idea was that the corporate tax would be set at a rate where it'll still make Dubai and the UAE a very attractive place to do business. It'll have sufficient amount of flexibility, it'll have sufficient amount of detail, and more importantly, and I think this is particularly important for the company secretaries and the chartered accountants that are in the audience, that they wanted a regime which would be simple to administer, relatively speaking, but they had to introduce, in terms of transfer pricing, in terms of excluding some portions of the free zones, not all of them, and progressively moving towards a regime where compliance will be rigorously enforced. And I think this is where I would urge our compliance professionals, in terms of good governance and transparency, not to take tax planning to a level where you are on the wrong side of the regulation or the wrong side of the law. Please do not do it. Those habits, please leave them behind in India, because the reality is, all of you have reputation risk. The ICSI chapter in the DIFC, and I know DIFC is a tough regulator. So compliance is very, very important, and it's your task as company secretaries to impress on the management and the ownership of companies to comply with the tax laws, because one of the objectives behind the tax laws is also to encourage greater transparency, greater disclosures, greater data collection. So every business, there would be significant amount of data that the government of the UAE will derive. And, with automation and with technology, violations, deviations, tax evasions will be quickly found out. And the penalties can be fairly severe, including naming and shaming the persons concerned, etc. Only last week I was talking to a senior person, and they said even Emirati families will not be spared. In terms of good governance, for instance, in the DFM, some of the listed companies and the Emiratis behind, senior Emiratis behind those listed companies were fined, and not just fined, I think there was some jail term as well, for violating the company law, for violating the listing regulations and the provisions, etc. So penalties can be fairly severe, and I would urge all of you to keep that compliance aspect in mind. Second aspect is policy advocacy. I've been engaging with the authorities for a number of years now, and one of the things that they're very keen is to get feedback from the professionals, from the various associations, and that's why, in IBPC, we have said that we will create policy advocacy as one of our key objectives, making sure that we engage with the likes of ICSI or ICAI, and making sure that we provide proper feedback to the authorities concerned. They're open to making changes, they're open to, reforming the tax regime. I know they have made it a little more elaborate now in terms of number of provisions. So they're quite open to revisiting these regulations and provisions at any time. So please keep this opportunity to do policy advocacy as a group, discuss it, look at what the challenges are, and escalate it. And we are quite happy at IBPC to be coordinating with you in that respect. And I think the final point is that, tax is here to stay. And they've made it very clear that there are going to be no personal income taxes, but corporate tax also on individuals is not going to be enforced rigorously. It's only the companies and the businesses that are going to be paying the tax. And, as someone said the other day, they asked me to pay taxes with a smile. I tried it, but they wanted cash. And I think on that note, I compliment and applaud the ICSI Middle East chapter for holding this and wish you the very best.
Thank you, sir, for sharing with us your thoughts on the subject. I'm sure all of us have so many takeaways on transparency, on our role in transparency, governance, and compliance. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to request our chief guest for today, Mr. K. Kalimuthuji, Consul Economic Trade and Commerce, Consulate General of India, Dubai, to please address the gathering with his words of wisdom.
Namaskar, Dr. Ram Baksani ji, Sri Suresh Kumar ji, and other senior functionaries from India, ICS, and ICSA fraternity here, and those who are watching on virtual mode, and experts, ladies and gentlemen. A very good morning, good afternoon to all. So we had, I was thinking that the corporate tax is there for last 3 days, but we had Dr. Rambaksani explaining that it's there even before. So that's a new fact. And we had a, word of caution and good piece of advice from Sri Suresh Kumar as to how long to stretch and not to stretch. Yes. First of all, I convey my appreciation to ICSA for organizing this event at a very appropriate time. As you have a mandate of that good governance, corporate governance, so it's all the more important to have this conference at this point in time. And we have experts on panel to take you through deep into the various nitty-gritties, I should not touch about it. Anyway, as Sri Suresh Kumarji said, it's a reality. So now it's a third day we are living with the corporate tax in place. So we have to accept this reality. Yes, companies now have to sell out a portion of their profit or resources to government. But we have to look at the other way as well. When you part away with certain resources, it goes to government. So that in turn goes to building the infrastructure, ecosystem of the country where we actually operate. So any organization has two things. One is building your own organization. On the other hand, you also have to build the ecosystem where we operate. So it's always that payment of tax go hand in hand. In other way, you are building the ecosystem. And again, so with this, the tax experience in large is a new phenomena here, but for customs tax, that was there for a long time. The VAT came, I think, in 1998. So now there is a direct tax, corporate tax has come in. So it's a new phenomena here. Yes, the companies who are enjoying the advantage will not be there, but still you have a huge advantage. It's only 9%, VAT also 5%. It's all very moderate comparing with the global tax across the world. But another thing, with this tax in place, the companies also will, remodel their business. So you will bring technology, you will bring many compliance, you will also put in the procedures in place. So that helps to bring, transparency in company, your building process. So that will help you to navigate when you plan global expansion. So you will not face challenge. So your challenge will be less. So that way you should take it in on a positive side. So that helps you, any organization, to go global and expand further. That's a good part of this. And again, when we say tax collection, there is a saying government should collect tax like a honeybee collecting from so many flowers without giving any pain to the flowers who actually part away the honey. So that's the ideal situation, that's objective. So that is to happen. Companies, organization also should understand the system, the policies very clearly so that you don't hit a roadblock. Professionals like you also help to companies understand what are the priorities, what are the problems, so that they don't hit a roadblock. And again, to achieve that ideal situation, so the professionals have a lot to contribute. The speakers before me that the corporate tax in place brings a huge opportunity for professionals. Yes, there is a huge opportunity. That huge opportunity comes with a lot of responsibilities. The greater responsibilities in ensuring the captains of organization understand the sensitive difficulties, understand the scenarios which they may not visualize. So you help them to navigate to chalk out a smoother way ahead, not hitting any roadblock. We know that any problem at times, the tax problems hits companies in a bigger way. So because that comes with a lot of consequence like interest, penalty, so many things. At times it even has a ramification for the going concern principle of company. So if anybody is able to chalk out a smoother way, then it becomes easy. And again, there is a saying that prevention is better than cure. That's applicable not only for medical field, that's even more apt for the tax field as well. So I'm sure that you will understand the ramification of that saying. You will help the companies to understand that basic principle in their tax policy as well. And in the context, I would like to again highlight, it is not only the corporate tax which has come in place. We see a lot of changes and economic policies being announced here in the last 2 years. Here federal level, even at emirate level, they have set a lot of priorities or targets for various economic sectors, and there are realignment. So there are different, and again we have seen the new visa regulations, and so there are so many changes being announced. So that and all again part of the changing scenario, tax being one of those changes. And again, another interesting thing you must be knowing that countries aggressively pursuing their free trade agreement. You must be remembering that India had signed a first comprehensive economic partnership agreement with the UAE. Thereafter, UAE is on a spree to sign agreements with various countries. So that again changes, that brings another dimension to their economic policy along with the corporate tax governance. And especially I would like to again say that after the SEPA, the bilateral trade also has gone to a new level. The last year it was 84 billion bilateral trade, which was against 73 billion the previous year. It's a 15% more. And again, if you look at the export side, India has registered, the volume was 31 billion. So that was against 28 billion previous year. That's 11% more. So we see a lot of synergies and that taking up trade to new level. And the same way the investment side also, we see a lot of investments happening from this side to India, which was not earlier. But similarly, if we see a lot of these announcements from chambers and free zones, significantly the registration gone up. And again, in that registrations, Indian companies contribute a larger segment. So that again indication that the Indian investments are happening this side. So there is, we see a lot of synergy, especially in the context of governments creating a enabling environment. But all this was, all this is possible only when the organizations on either side make use of these opportunities, and the professionals like you help the companies to navigate to, go to the next level. So with this note, I won't take much time since there are experts. They will take you through various nitty-gritties. And once again, I congratulate ICSI for organizing this event at a very appropriate time. my best wishes. Thank you so much, and thank you for having me here.
Thank you, sir. We feel privileged to have had a chance to listen to you and your inspiring words. Now, as an appreciation gesture, we would now like to have a small memento distribution ceremony for our guest, and for that, I would like to call our ICSI President CS Manish Gupta ji to kindly come forward and give the mementos to our guest. First, Mr. K. Kalimuthu ji. Dr. Ram Buksani ji. Mr. Suresh Kumar ji. Thank you. Now, for the closing remarks, I would now like to invite CS Ashish Mohanji, Secretary of the ICSI, to kindly come and propose the vote of thanks. Thank you.
Good morning, all of you. First of all, a big round of applause to all of you for the wonderful audience and almost a houseful audience here. Shri K. Kalimuthu ji, Council Economic Trade and Commerce, Consulate General of India, Dubai. Dr. Ram Buksani ji, Chairman, ITL Cosmos Group, Dubai. Mr. Suresh Kumar, Chairman, IBPC, Dubai. CS Manish Gupta, Resident ICSI. CS Pawan Chandak, Central Council Member. Shri R. Lakshmanan ji, Chairman, Dubai Chapter. And dear all proud members of ICSI and all of us, all of the members connected to us virtually today. A very, very warm greetings from ICSI to all of you. Dear members, it's with immense pleasure and gratitude that I stand before all of you to deliver this heartful vote of thanks as we commence this remarkable conference on the new corporate tax regime, which has already been touched upon. Dear friends, this tax is being introduced to accelerate the country's development and transformation, which shall not just cement UAE's position as a favorable destination for investment and business growth, but also reflects the commitment of the government to foster economic development. And as touched upon, that it is going to be one of the lowest tax regime in the world. Our distinguished speakers and panelists who shall share their valuable insights and expertise with us over the course of this conference through their presentation and discussion will surely help us in shedding more light on the intricacies and implications of the new corporate tax regime, providing us with a comprehensive understanding of its significance in today's global landscape, and especially the role of professionals like the company secretaries and governance professionals. Dear friends, ladies and gentlemen, it's indeed a privilege to propose this vote of thanks to our chief guest, Mr. K. Kalimuthu ji, Council, Economic Trade and Commerce, Consulate General of India. Sir, your presence here has indeed motivated all of us, and I think you have touched upon a lot of aspects, especially the role of professionals. I'm sure that we all as collectively as members of this institute, would adhere to all those ethical standards. Thank you, sir, for being here with us. And indeed, your presence that's motivating and encouraging for all of us. Thank you. We had excellent guest of honors today, Shri Ram Baksani ji and Mr. Suresh Kumar. I think, sir, both of your presence indeed and has really enriched this inaugural session, and I think you have taken us through the times and also touched upon various again ethical standards of conduct which we as members of this profession needs to follow. And I think you also touched upon how we as an institute and our Dubai chapter can play a role in advocating policy matters, and I'm sure that in the days to come, our members would contribute in taking up those suggestions to the government. Thank you, sir. Both of your presence here has really, really motivated us, all of us here. I think you had mentioned that neither the awardees or the panelists here were women, and I must say, proudly say, that today, as we stand here, 50% of our members are women. So this is one proud fact which we would like to share all over the world, that in the fraternity of company secretaries, a lot of women members are taking up this course and are both active in employment as well as in practice. I thank the co-host, ICSI Middle East, DIFC, NPIO, our Dubai chapter, the chairman, Shri R. Lakshmananji, for the tireless efforts and the dedication through which, and all the members of the committee for their tireless effort for making sure that we organize this conference. I thank the team ICSI, led by Preeti ji, and the entire team for making sure that this conference is done. And I thank all the virtual participants today connected to us. I think almost more than 500 people have connected all over the world. I would also like to express my sincere gratitude to the entire sponsors, MCA Gulf, M&M, Delhi Trust, Perfetto Event Management. Last but not the least, thank the hospitality of Dusit Thani. And I'm sure that upon conclusion of this conference, we shall not only have a renewed understanding of the new corporate tax regime in UAE, but shall leave with a deeper appreciation of the opportunities and challenges that lie ahead in the ever-evolving global business landscape. Thank you, and have a wonderful day. Thank you.